So this is a suggestion from SP Dean, who says, well, I don't know if you've ever done this one, but it looks fun. Basically, this is a coding problem where you need to output the lyrics to the Baby Shark song. And so the prompt is create a function as short as possible that returns these lyrics. Your code should be less than 300 characters. Watch out for the 3 points at the end of the song. So a lot of us are familiar with the song, Baby Shark do 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 do, Baby Shark do 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 do, Baby Shark do 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 do, Baby Shark. Mommy Shark do 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 do, Mommy Shark. I'm not going to sing the whole thing, but that's the song. And we're going to write a program that outputs these words. And if somebody could remind me, a good stretch goal, I think, would be to actually make my computer output the words. So we're going to click train. Cool. Why does this song have 5 billion views? Sing the whole song, all right. No, thank you. No, thank you. We're going to make a directory called Learn Code with Baby Shark. Cool. Play the song itself. I don't want a copyright violation. All right, so I am going to write a JavaScript program. So JavaScript is the programming language that I like to use. There are a lot of programming languages in the world. You can see on Code Wars, you can actually choose between choose different languages to solve this with. It only supports certain ones. There are more languages than this in the world. And I am going to use JavaScript to solve this. So first thing is we have all of the lyrics of the song, and the easiest program that you could write is you could take all of these lyrics, put it into a variable, and then just log that variable. Let's take a quick stretch. I don't, so as you can see, my editor only takes up a certain amount of space on my screen. And so if I use the integrated terminal, I would have even less space. So I just like to switch between the tabs. Okay, the simplest way to solve this problem is to just put this in a variable. So I'm going to say lyrics equals this. We're going to use backticks, which allow us to create a string that has new lines inside of it. So now what I've done is I've taken all the lyrics of the song and I've put them into this variable called lyrics. Variables are nice because you can access them later. So I put all these words into this, call it a bucket. All the words are now in this bucket called lyrics. And then later on in my code, I can access it. So the way I'm going to output this is I'm just going to say console.log lyrics. And what this will allow me to do is this DK strike, the resub, thank you very much. But you've seen me typing commands in this black window. This is the terminal. And in the terminal, we can run programs, we can output text, but this line of code right here is how we output text. So this is the, I hear you. Everyone in the chat, I hear you. And I have something in my teeth, but I hear you. Everyone wants a Baby Shark lo-fi remix. If we get this done, I think I'll do that after this. I'll do that after this. Okay, but these are the lyrics. This is the code I need to write to put it to the console. This is the simplest possible way to do this. And I'm going to run this with node.js. There we go. We wrote a program that output the text to the song Baby Shark. We did it! We did it in this black window. There is something in my teeth. I can't get rid of it. Okay, but there's a better way. Now, one of the things we do in programming is called refactoring, where basically we take parts of the code that are very repetitive and we turn them into something that can be reused and reusable. And that's the cool thing about programming is that you can write things that iterate or run in loops or repeat themselves, so you don't have to write a bunch of code. Yeah, my fingers. Calm down, everybody. So let's call this, I'm going to put these in separate files. We're going to call this version 1. That's version 1. Put all the lyrics in a variable and log them out. But where can we go from here? So we're going to call this version 2. Version 2, I'm actually going to use, I'm going to use some loops. Yeah, so basically you can see how this part is repeated. This part of the song, Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark. So these 3 lines right here are repeated. So instead of loops, so instead of having all of it written out, I only have to write it once, and then I can write the code that outputs it multiple times. So let's go ahead and do that. So, oh, thank you, Andrew. That's actually probably the easiest way to do this. So this is totally unrelated, but listen to this. Oh, I need to do, I renamed it. It's version 1.
Baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Do 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 do.
All right, that's enough. But built into the Mac is this command called say. And this is the pipe operator. So in Linux, when we're typing commands into this black box here, we can take the output of one program and put it into the other. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Print uncompressed some binary string. Yeah, that's another way to do it for sure. I'm gonna try to just keep it like totally like in the code though. But yeah, we technically could have put this in a compressed binary file and then imported it. Yeah. Okay, but regardless, version 2 is we're going to use loops. Loops! So, what we need to do is, and like I mentioned it, this is the part of the song that is actually like repeated a bunch, right? So let's put that in a variable. So we'll say baby shark lyric equals that, right? And so now I don't want to do these 3 things. And this is the thing I'm going to want to output after that, right? And this is just baby shark. Let's actually call this baby shark do 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 do. Yeah. We're on our way. We're slowly refactoring this. By the end of this, if you're new to programming, you probably won't be able to recognize it. But that's okay, because we're building up. Baby shark do. Yeah, we could put the do in a very. There's a lot we could do, but bear with me. So, like I mentioned, this is the part that was repeated, and we want to write code that actually repeats that. So we're going to write a loop to do that. Now, in most programming languages, we have this thing called the for loop. And the for loop has some stuff in it. So I can say for, I need a variable that's going to be my iterator, the thing that's going to count. And in most programming languages, our iterators start at 0. So I'm going to start this off at 0. And then how many times do I need to repeat this? I need to repeat it 3 times. 0, 1, 2. Right? So my iterator needs to go up to 2, not 3. Right? I appreciate all of you with the code suggestions, but we'll get there. We got a ways to go. There's a lot we can do. There's a lot we can do. There's a lot. So, this loop says start at 0, and then keep looping, keep doing what you're doing until and keep doing what you're doing while I is less than 3. And on each iteration, add 1 to I, increment it by 1. And so what's going to happen is I will be 0, and then I will be 1, and then I will be 2, and then when I is 3, 3 is not less than 3, because 3 is equal to 3, so we're going to leave that for loop. So we're going to use this for loop to basically, we're going to do our log, and we're going to log just this section. Baby shark do, baby shark do. And so it's going to do that 3 times, and then we have baby shark, and we're going to output that after the loop. Right? And so I'm actually going to comment out the rest of this. Start the loop, do, start the loop, do. 3 is equal to 3, but 3 is not less than 3. Okay, so this is the code that's going to take this line, baby shark do, and it's going to repeat that 3 times, and then we're gonna log that out, and then we're gonna log baby shark. So let's run version 2. There we go, right? So it repeated baby shark do 3 times, and then it did baby shark. That's great. And so what we can do now is we basically just need to repeat this logic for all the other parts of the song. We need mommy shark, we need daddy shark, grandma shark, all that good stuff. So let's do that. Yeah, it's only the first verse, but it's easy enough. So we're going to change this to do, and we're going to change our variable. Give me some time. I realize we should probably put this in a function. but we're not there yet. We're beginner programmers, so we need to start somewhere. So we're just going to copy and paste this code. So we're going to call this mommy shark. Yes, I know. There are much better ways. I know. But you're going to have to bear with me, all you people that actually know how to program. You're going to have to bear with me. Okay, so we got baby shark, we've got mommy shark, and then mommy shark, and then we need to do daddy shark. Lowercase d, lowercase d, lowercase d. Too many sharks in here. All right, so I think we've got it so far. Let's just make sure that my program actually outputs baby, mommy, and then daddy shark. All right. Yes, we're on our way. Oh, yeah, I don't know. All right, so now we got to do grandma shark. So we'll take this, and then we're going to turn this into grandma shark. Grandma shark, we're going to change our variable name to be grandma shark do. Yeah, everybody could do exclamation mark drop followed by either a shark emote or a shark emoji. Grandma shark. Yeah, and so those of you that saw me do this, inside of VS Code, this is the editor that I'm using. If you select something and you press Command D, it will select the next thing that matches that, and now you can see I have two cursors. And I can actually type in multiple places at once, so that's how I'm doing that, is Command D on a Mac or Control D anywhere else. All right, so we've got grandma shark. Very good. Next up, we need the grandpa shark. keep the shark drops go. Oh, that's a nice shark emote. Very nice. I haven't really messed much with WebAssembly. Grandpa? The thing is, I like my variable names to be lowercase, which is why I'm doing this. So, grandpa shark. All right. Is it still working? Grandma, grandpa. Okay, we're on our way. Last one is let's go hunt. So there's that, and then there's let's go hunt. And then this is let's go hunt. Do. Let's go hunt. Do. Let's go hunt. There's no shark. Do. There's no shark. Do. Okay, so that's that one. And then the last thing is I actually do need to output run away. And so we're gonna output that right here. Cool. Does it work? Baby shark, mommy shark, daddy shark, grandma shark, grandpa shark, let's go hunt. Oh, that's wrong. And then this shouldn't be grandpa shark, this should be let's go hunt. Shark. Line 43. Yeah, we fixed that. And it does, the variable name does have shark in it. All right, I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's go hunt. Do. Let's go hunt. Do. Let's go hunt. All right. Does it still work? Let's go hunt is not defined. Oh, yeah. I gotta actually put it in a variable called let's go hunt. Okay. We're on our way. Now, you might be wondering, okay, we got rid of this duplication, right? If we look at version 1, the duplication that we got rid of was the duplication of the text itself. And we solved that by using a loop. But now there is more duplication, right? Now we see this, it's not exact duplication, right? Because it's a little bit different. We see the variable with the lyrics in it. We see a for loop, and then we see that same thing that was here output at the bottom, right? And we copy and pasted that several different times. And this is totally fine because we're actually using loops. That's a good first step as a programmer, is like use loops. But now we can use functions. And functions allow you to define behavior that is repeatable. So here we go. We're going to create a version 3, and we're going to copy version 2 from that. Oh yeah, and before we do that, we got to do this.
Baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Daddy shark. Do 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 daddy shark. Do 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 daddy shark. Do 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 daddy shark. Grandma shark. Do 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 grandma shark. Do 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 grandma shark.
Okay, I'll stop. Okay, I stopped it. Yes, there was a comment. What was that comment? Yeah, it's duplication in that the logic is the same, right? And somebody said, is version 1 is dry, version 2 is wet. So the thing is, and like as a programmer, Gaming Diamond says, as a general rule of thumb, I never cut and paste when coding. The thing is, like, if you find yourself copy and pasting, you should probably write a function. Yeah. But here's the thing. You always have to make trade-offs in programming, and especially in the real world. Like, if somebody said, you need to implement the lyrics to Baby Shark in a program, and we need it by the end of the day, this is good enough. Right? This is literally all you need. You put all the words in a string, and then you log them out. But the customer comes to you the next day, and they're like, all right, we need to add a 4th verse where instead of let's go hunt, it's coding garden, coding garden, do. And so if you do that, well, then we'll go into the string, we'll update it. And eventually, if you get more and more feature requests, this is just going to be a big, long, giant mess of code, which is why we would try to write it in a more don't repeat yourself fashion. But yeah, dry, which people are saying in the chat, stands for don't repeat yourself. And this is like a tenet of programming that it makes sense sometimes, but you have to be pragmatic about it. Don't repeat yourself, don't repeat yourself, don't repeat yourself. All right, so we've got version 3, which is going to introduce the idea of functions. Try, don't repeat yourself. Try again. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this part right here, because this is the part, if we look at our code, that looks very similar, right? On each section, the only difference is we have a different variable name and we have a different thing that we're using it. So we're going to use functions. So this is where we're talking about functions. And in this case, I'm going to create a function called. Did somebody give me a good name for a function earlier? What should I call it? Don't repeat myself. Fun functions. Verse. I like verse. Yeah. Funk doo doo. Funk doo doo doo. We're gonna call it doo doo. That's fine. Shark doo? Okay. Now, when you are extracting a function, I'm gonna call it doo doo, because that's funny. It's funny. But when you're extracting things into a function, you need to analyze what is the one thing that's different about all these blocks of code, right? We have that, and we have this, and we have this, and we have this, and we have this. So if you're looking at this, what is the one thing that changes between those, right? It's the fact that we're just passing in, or we're using a different thing. There's a baby shark. Yeah, it's the family member. We have baby shark, mommy shark, daddy shark, grandma shark, grandpa shark, abstract factory, strategy visitor doo doo. Yes. If this were enterprise code, that's what we would call it. Use the entire song as a function name. That's also possible. But the family member is the thing that is changing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a parameter into the function. So basically, we're going to be able to say, hey, function, I want you to be able to do this. And instead of baby shark doo doo, it'll be family member shark. Let's call it that. Doo doo. And instead of this, it'll be family member. Actually, we're going to be passing the family member in, so we don't need this one. So we'll say like family member plus an exclamation mark, like that. But now we need the family member, and the family member needs to go right here. So what we kind of need to do is we need to say family member family member family member. So this part right here is going to be family member. Family member? Yes, family member, sorry. Family member, like that. Cool. Okay, so this will be some family member family member family member. Now, where does this come from? It comes as an argument to the function. So if I put this right here, then that means the outside world can pass in a family member name. I could just call it member. Yeah, I will. Maybe. I don't know. You can pass in a family name, and then it's going to use that to output it. Because so this plus sign right here is known as concatenation. So we're going to take whatever that family member name is, and then add it on to the words do. And then at the end, we're going to say family member with an exclamation mark on it, right? Yeah, you can absolutely do format strings. There are better ways to do it, but I think concatenation is the easiest way to show beginners. So there's that. Now, we actually need to use this function. So instead of having this repeated code here, what we'll say is we want to invoke that function. We want to call that function and pass in baby shark. So we'll say do, and then pass in baby shark. And so now all of that code just got removed, and all I had to do was say, hey, do, please run the code inside of you and use the word baby shark. So this string right here, baby shark, is going to get passed in, and now family member is equal to baby shark, right? So baby shark gets added there, and then we loop it, and then baby shark exclamation mark, right? Household representative. Cool. So if I run version 3, it should still work. Yeah, baby shark, do, baby shark. And now I just need to reuse that function for all the other family members. So we'll do the do for mommy shark. And then daddy shark. And then grandma shark. Yeah, grandma shark. And then we'll do it again for grandpa shark. We could write unit tests. We absolutely could, but we're not gonna. And then we need to do it one more time with let's go hunt. This part here. Dry. And then we log run away. Okay, so we have taken all of that repetitive code, which runs the loop, which takes the family number and adds it to do. We've put it. We've basically encapsulated it. That's a programming term. So basically, I could look at this code here, and we kind of don't need to know what happens behind the scenes of that do function, but if you know the song, you can kind of guess. Oh, that's going to take that word baby shark and put the rest of the words on it. Baby shark do, baby shark do. Larry says, I feel so dry right now. Well, thank you, Luis. It's going to get better. It's potentially going to get more convoluted. You can see this is not the end of refactoring. There's a lot more we can do, and you can see the people in the chat have a lot of suggestions. Programmers are very opinionated people, but let's make sure it works. Let's make sure it works. Look at that. It works. And we're gonna sing it again.
Baby shark. Do baby shark. Do.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. And thank you. We got a few follows. Thank you for those follows. Thank you, Approach. What a cool Twitch name. You must have had that for a while. And thank you, Flopped Him, for that follow as well. And Amadov, thank you very much. One. One line. Okay, so this is version 3. This is pretty good. I would say that you probably don't need to go any further in this in terms of refactoring. There are a lot of other things we can use in JavaScript to clean this up a little bit. So in someone earlier mentioned this thing called f strings. In JavaScript, we have something very similar where you can basically format a string based on variable names, and we could do that here. Also, instead of a loop like this, we could potentially use a for each or a map. which are higher order methods. Then we have functions inside of functions. Also, we can see, so if you think about this earlier, we talked about how this was repetitive and that it's doing this same thing over and over, right? It's doing that, it's doing that. I think this is the next refactor that I'm going to do. The repetitive, like, what is the repetitive thing you see me doing here? I could absolutely use string repeat. Yeah, that would clean this up. But pay no attention to that. What part of this code is not dry? Like invoking the function, right? The fact that we invoke this function 5 times, that's not very dry. yeah. Like, instead of having to invoke it manually, we can start to use something known as arrays and higher order methods. So yeah, too much doo-doo. Yes, there are way too many doo-doo invocations here. So that's going to be my version 4. Yeah, we're calling doo-doo way too many times. So let's fix that. Okay, how do we fix that? So what we're going to use for this is an array. So an array is a place where you can store a list of things. And the list of things that I care about are all of the different family members, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an array called family members. And that is going to be a list. We use the bracket notation. There we go. Avi has it for each doo-doo. So we have the brackets, and that's going to have each of the family members inside of it. Now, watch. Before your eyes, as I perform this feat of editor foo. So, now we have an array that I mean, it's technically not a family member, you're right, but it's part of the song. And now we have this array. It has all of the different family members inside of it. And just like Avi mentioned, we can basically iterate over this array to invoke the function multiple times. Wizard CJ. Cool. And actually, I'll show you first that we can just use a for loop. So we showed you the for loop earlier. It goes from 0 up to 3. For loops can also... Yes, for loops can also iterate up to a number of times. This comma is actually called the comma dangle, and it's my preferred code style. It's not an error. Technically, if I run this, we're just going to see run away. Is this version 3? No, this is version 4. Version 4. Run away. So this actually isn't a syntax error. It's the comma dangle. You can take it off if you want, but I prefer to have it. Okay. Now, we want to iterate over this list of items. First, I'm going to show you the for loop because it's very useful. Like before, we had a fixed iteration, right? It went from 0 to 3, but we can have dynamic iteration. So if I have a for loop that goes from I equals 0, I want I to go all the way up to the number of family members, right? So I can say, well, I is less than family members dot length. So arrays have this built-in property on them called length. And that is the number of items in the array. And so I can do, let I equal 0, while I is less than family members dot length, I plus plus. And so now that's going to get each individual family member. And I can say family member is family members. And the way that I grab one specific family member out of this array is with bracket notation. So if I say bracket I, when I is 0, we get baby shark. When I is 1, we get mommy shark. When I is 2, we get daddy shark. When I is 3, we get grandma shark. When I is 4, we get grandpa shark. When I is 5, we get let's go hunt. So this is going to pull that specific family member out, and now I can invoke my function, right? I can take this doo-doo, and I can pass in that specific family member. And this should get us there. This should at least work the same way. I'm going to show you in a second what people in the chat were recommending, which is use like a for each. That gets a little more complicated because then we're passing functions into functions, but this should at least work, and it does. And thank you, Sufian, for that follow. And Big Jam Dude, and Incompetent Ian, thank you for being here. Bug. Is there a bug? I don't know if I see a bug. But yeah, Steve-O in quarantine is asking, do I need less than or equal to here? And I actually don't. I'm not going to pass it through say. That gets a little bit annoying. But the reason being is length is not 0 based. So the length of the array is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length of the array is 6. But when we're accessing them, we're using 0, like it starts at 0 indexing. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So while I is less than 6, when it's 5, it's good. When it's 6, it's past it, so we don't access it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Moose on the Loose. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Can you make a JavaScript parser in JavaScript using regex? Probably. I feel like a lot. If you're writing an interpreter for a programming language, you should probably avoid regular expressions. I mean, maybe you use them very sparingly. I don't know. Yes, and Trimstars is mentioning you can also, instead of creating this variable here, you can just pass it in directly. I'll show you that. We could use a for. I'll do that. That's a good next step instead of using for each like was mentioned. But yes, instead of doing this, so I'm going to comment out this code. When I comment out code, then that means the code right there does not run. If I try to run this again, the only thing that outputs is that. So I'm saving this for later. This is just for me later on. But instead of doing putting it in a variable, you're absolutely right. We could just do this, and that should work. There we go. Yeah, the last item in the array is not a family member. You're right. We could call this items. I don't know. This is a code kata for sure. But the reason that I prefer to do this I think prefix is probably a good name for it. But the reason I do this instead of this is because the code is a little bit easier to read when we have nice variable names. And that's purely just for humans. JavaScript doesn't care what you call your variables. It doesn't care how you do things. Like technically we could have just called this f. Like that. We could call this f. And we could call this im. And the code is still gonna work. If I say that. It still works. So you can call your variables anything you want. But I like to be very explicit so that when other programmers read my code, they know what we're doing. Prefix. Okay, we'll call it prefixes. Let's call it prefixes. Prefixes, and then this will be called prefix. So this is our array of prefixes. Why is everyone doing F in the chat? Am I still live? Am I gone? What's happening? Yeah. F. Hey, stop it. I'm pretty sure I'm live. I've got green, no packet loss. Oh, I used F as a variable name. Thank you, Peace and Duck. I appreciate the compliment. Variable F. I see. That makes sense. Yeah, and then the other thing is we could rename this I to be index instead, because that's what it is. So you saw me using this I variable. Technically what it is the index in the array. Yeah. So it's not a keybind, but in VS Code, if you press F2, that is the shortcut for rename. And then you can call this wow. And then any reference to that variable will be renamed to that. Cool. Okay, so this is fine. What I also want to show, though, is just another way to write the for loop. I think we want a for of. And what's nice about that is I don't need to create this separate variable. So we'll say const prefix of prefixes. I think, do we want a for of? Or is it a for in? I always get the two mixed up. But basically, this is another way of writing a loop. Instead of manual for in. Oh, okay. In is the same as index. Okay. That's fine. Prefixes at index. Cool. So, when we write a regular for loop, Trevor Blades! What's up, dude? But Trevor says for of is for iterating over the keys. Cool. Or the values. I think it's the values? I don't know, but check out Trevor Blades. He's a member of our Live Coders team. Click that link, drop a follow. All right, we're going to do it. For of, not in. In? Of. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Of is the values. Right now, what I want to show is, so you saw that we wrote this for loop, and we used index. And we're checking is index less than length and index plus plus. For in, basically allows me to just grab every index inside of that array, and I don't have to have the logic of incrementing I and checking if it's less than the length. So this works in the same way. Great. But there's another one, another for loop we can use that is for of. And that gives me the specific values. So instead of even having to use the index, we can just access the value itself, like this. So I can say for prefix of prefixes, call the function with that prefix. I'm cheating because I'm using the chat. So these are 3 different ways to write a for loop. This one is probably the nicest, right? Because we don't have to create an extra variable. It's just going to give us every value inside of there. Is probably the nicest. Yeah, okay. Next step, I will say, is higher order methods. We'll do that for sure. Actually, I think the next step is string manipulation instead of string templates instead of concatenation. But what I want to show you really quick is if you are attempting to call the to do these things at home, and you don't have chat telling you what does what, there's a really good resource. So the resource that I like to use is called MDN, the Mozilla Developer Network. And if you want to know like what does for of do, you can search for it, and they have examples and descriptions of what it does. So for of creates a loop iterating over iterable objects. An array is an iterable object, including built-ins like string and array. So for element of array, it's going to log those out, and then we get ABC. This question here, how did I do !MDN? I'm using a search engine called DuckDuckGo. I like to use them because they respect my privacy. And they have a lot of cool features built in. Just duck it. Just duck it. So these are called bang commands. If you do !, these are all there are actually a ton more of built-in searches that you can do from DuckDuckGo. So DuckDuckGo is my default search engine, and then they have this built in where I can just immediately search it. Yeah, if you don't have that, developer.mozilla.org, don't click this link. It's a Rickroll. Thank you, Python, for that follow. Yeah, I really, really like DuckDuckGo. I will say sometimes the search results aren't the best, but you can always, a bang command that they have is bang-g, and that will it'll jump out from DuckDuckGo to Google if you really want to do that. You could probably Bing it too. Yeah, Chandler Bing. There you go. Okay, so yeah, MDN is great. This is one of the best resources for learning things. Someone in the chat mentioned you can also contribute to it. So if you sign in, this is like the Wikipedia of JavaScript programming. You can add more examples. You can add more descriptions. All that good stuff. And so also, if we searched for in, we could see how that's going. And thank you, 84, for that follow. Found a weak spot in MDN. Probably should have contributed after I figured it out, but yeah, for sure. Like and that's the thing. If you find, and sometimes because these are user submitted, I think they are managed by the Mozilla Foundation themselves, and Mozilla is the same foundation that creates Firefox. But some of the documentation isn't the best. And you can help though. If you are a programmer and you think you have a better explanation or a better example, you can edit it. So yeah. Okay, so that's MDN. Use that if you don't have people telling you what to do in the chat. All right, I think this is good enough for version 4. This is my version 4. We use an array. We use a for loop. Choose whatever for loop you want. At the end of the day, they all work the same way. But yeah. Okay. Now, version 5, I think, is going to be about string manipulation. So let's call this version 5. And for version 5, we're just going to stick with the for of loop. And we're going to use string templates. String templates and string functions. So, this part of my code is pretty dry, right? I'm not really repeating myself at all. Technically, I'm repeating myself inside of the for loop, but I'm not like repeating the same code over and over again. Yeah, and Jacques is saying, let's check the speed. For a simple program like this, you don't really have to worry about that, but you're right. Like each one of these versions where we're doing something different, there are implications in how fast that program actually runs. Like Probably honestly, the fastest version is the one where we have all the lyrics in a single variable and we just log those out. This is probably going to be the fastest program, but is it the nicest program to improve upon and to use in the future and all that stuff? But yeah. Okay. What we're gonna do now is, so this part of the code looks good to me. The part up here that we're gonna fix is, and actually we should have renamed this. I think we should call this prefix. And this is now prefix doo-doo. There we go. There we go. There you go. All right, so let's make sure that just the basic version 5 works. It does. Awesome. Now what I want to do is use string templates. So let's go back to that trusty MDN thing that I mentioned and look up template literal. So in JavaScript, there are these things called template literals, and what they allow you to do is to create a string that has a variable inside of it. So what you saw me doing here is called string concatenation. You can basically take as many strings as you want, you put plus signs between them, and then it puts them all together. But what we can do with string templates is we can clean this up a little bit. So, I mean, I don't know if you can call this cleaner. Some people think the syntax is really confusing, but basically, we basically want to say, I want this prefix variable to live right here, right? But if you do that, you just end up with a string that has the word prefix inside of it. So what we do, instead of single quotes, we use backticks. Type one in the chat if you have no idea where the backtick is on your keyboard, because I know there are some of you. You have unlocked a new privilege. And thank you, Florian, for that follow. Yeah, and Murdoch has it. If you look on your keyboard, there's that tilde button, which if you don't speak Spanish, you probably never use. It also has the backtick key, and that's where that is. I used to teach a lot of beginner programmers, and nobody could figure out where the backtick key was. Spanish or Portuguese, right? Or any language that has the inya on it, for sure. Okay, so we have wrapped the string in backticks. There you go. Jaka's got the backtick. And we use this syntax, $ curly brace, and then we put the variable name that we want inside of that $ curly brace. And now what this will do is this will create a string that has the prefix inside of it, followed by a comma, followed by all those things. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, there's literally an in with an inya button on the keyboard. So who even uses the tilde button? Avi is saying operator precedence is the most important subject in programming languages tutorials. I think in our example, we're not really doing any math. I don't know where operator precedence would come into play. I don't know. But that should do it. And then down here, you can see we're doing this as well. We have a string, we'll have prefix, and then we're concatenating exclamation onto it as well. Linux uses tilde? Oh, okay. That makes sense. But we're going to turn this into a template string. So we need prefix. And prefix is going to be here, like that. And that should do it. So if we run version 5, it works. Great. Oh, is that Postgres? What team is that? Elephant of some kind. Wellbrain says, I switched to an English keyboard layout for programming from German, and it's awesome. It's good to hear. Evernote. Oh, cool. Okay. So that's the first thing, is the template literals. And, I mean, it cleans the code up a little bit. In this particular example, we only had a couple of plus signs, so it wasn't super... Who has a 5,000% hype train? That's crazy. But in this case, it didn't clean it up too much because we were only concatenating 2 things. But if you're concatenating a lot of things, this string template syntax gets a lot more useful. Okay, someone gifted 200. What channel was that? That's crazy. Crazy. Oh, that's true. Some languages do use the tilde. Like CSS. I think you can actually do this in CSS. Cool. And thank you, Verid Rose, for that follow. Mewtrue. I haven't heard of him. Okay, that's great. Now we're going to use a built-in string function. So strings have a lot of they have a lot of built-in functions, and strings are these things that have like just regular plain old words inside of them. And one of those built-in functions is this thing, excuse me, this thing called repeat, which will allow us to repeat something a certain number of times. So we can see that do, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 do-dos. And we need to repeat the word do 6 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a nested template. And the other thing is inside of these curly braces, inside of these curly braces, you can use not just variables, but actual expressions. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write a JavaScript expression, which is something that evaluates to a value. So I can say do diligence, do.repeat. And I want to repeat this 6 times. Now, the thing is, that's going to repeat it, but it's not going to have any spaces on it. Right? If I do this, watch what happens. We've got some very muddy doo-doo. It's all mushed together. We want to separate that doo-doo so that way it appears how it actually should. And what we should do is if we do plus a space and we repeat that, we will get do space repeated. Great. But the issue is now there's a space on the end. Yeah, it's very muddy. It's all mixed together. It's not good. What shall we do? And so we can do this, and then now there's going to be a space on the end. And so yeah, Gigi is recommending trim. I think that's the way to go too, is if we say trim, that's going to remove the spaces on the end. And so that, I mean, if we do that, then there should be no space on the end. Yeah, there's no space. Oh, I like that. I like that idea. That's a lot better. If we put the space at the start, we don't need the trim. Great thoughts, everyone. So that's one way to do it. But if we get rid of that, and if we put the space at the start, then we don't need the space here, and that should do it. Huh? Right? And if we look at this, yeah, no extra space. See you later, Lakshman. Thanks for hanging out. So that's really good. Now, we've come a long way, right? We had version 1 with just the lyrics. Version 2, we introduced loops. And so that was fine. Version 3, we dried it up a little bit and extracted those loops into a function. Version 4, instead of invoking the function several times, we introduced arrays and looping over arrays. And now in version 5, we're just cleaning things up in the string and template literals. I will say this, if you are brand new to programming, version 5 is not for you. Or even version 4. Like version 3, like if you're brand new to programming, that's so dry, please hydrate. If you're brand new to programming, this is a perfectly fine place to be. Learning the basics of functions and invoking functions, it's okay if you're here for like several months or even a year, and this is how your programs look. That's totally fine. These other ones are if you've been programming for a while and you start to recognize patterns and stuff like that. Okay. Allow the code to pass in an animal name. I like that. So one thing we could do is because actually, let's add that to this version, because this is more of like, how can we take the code that we already have? My boss would kill me if I write such code after you. Like this one? I'm talking about like brand new programmers, people that have not been doing this for a long time, and that's okay. Now do it recursively. I can remove the extra for loop now. I think we'll do that here. Basically, at this point, there are 1,000,001 ways to make it better. Well, not make it better. There are 1,000,001 ways to shorten it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. Yeah. So actually, I'll do that in the next one. The next one, we're going to introduce higher order methods. All right, we're going to go to version 6. So we're going to copy this. Now this is version 6. Yeah, and then version 7 will be my golf version, which is the shortest possible version at all. So this is functions, arrays, string templates, string functions, and higher order functions. And I'll tell you what I mean by higher order functions. So I really don't want to, Avi. I really don't. I appreciate your persistence, but I really don't want to open that page. A best practices version. That'd be good too. And thank you, Luik. Thank you for that follow. And what's up, Rocksheet? Okay, higher order functions. Now, we saw that we use this for loop. It's also possible to write this without the loop, without the for loop. And for that, we can use higher order methods. And now the higher order method that I want to use here is one that's called for each. And for each works like so. For each is a function that's built into lists or arrays like this, and it allows me to execute a function on each value inside of the array. So one way to write this, and actually we can get rid of this, is to say for each prefix, please run this function. And for now, let's just log the prefix. Let's see what happens. No, version 6 is what we want to run. Now we get baby shark, mommy shark, daddy shark, grandpa shark, grandpa shark, let's go hunt. So for each, totally fine. That's great. And then now, because I can execute custom code inside of this function, I can call that do function and pass in the prefix. And this will work. This will now do what we want it to do, because for each item, it's invoking the do function. Now, where this gets interesting is because I'm just invoking this function with the value that's being passed into the for each, I could also write it this way. So for each one, do. And that actually does it. Yeah, and Plop makes a good point. Now, I'm not reusing this array anywhere else. So actually, I can just get rid of the variable name, and then just we execute that right there. Yeah. Is this what you mean? Yeah. I think that will be our final version, where instead of multiple console logs, we create a single one. So yeah, we have this array for every item, call that function on it, and it works. But now the thing is, we're getting into functional programming territory. This is technically functional. We're not mutating any globals. Actually, we are. The fact that we're doing console logs makes these impure functions. They have side effects. But that works. That's great. CM Griffin, what's up, dude? I don't know why, but this makes me hear quotes from Jaws, but backed by the Baby Shark song instead of an orchestra. That's awesome. Check out CM Griffin. He has a super chill stream. Thanks for being here, dude. So that. Click that link, drop a follow. But that's actually really funny. Scenes from Jaws with Baby Shark, do. And Shines Love with a gifted sub to CM Griffin. Congrats. Now you can use emotes. Yeah. Cool. And Lasamat, thank you very much for that follow. Thanks for being here. Yeah, CM Griffin has rules in his chat, and if you do not obey those rules, or if you don't, he has every right to time out or ban you. I'll say that. As do I. I should just ban everyone. Then, hey, I found a solution. If I ban everyone, then I don't have to talk to the chat, right? Right? All right, see you later, William Schneider. Thanks for being here. I think that's the solution to all my problems, is to just ban everyone, and then I don't have to actually talk to the chat. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. I'm also just joking. Now, for each viewer, ban, yes. Ban is greater than focus mode. Okay, but here's the thing. That's a good. That's true. I mean, basically, my Twitch channel would turn into a YouTube channel. I'm kidding. Now, here's another thing. So there are other higher order methods, and there's this higher order method called map. And actually, no. Okay, we're going to use map. There's this higher order method called map that can take an array and turn it into an array of new things. So let me show you how this works. What I'm going to do is I am going to take the word shark out of all of these. I mean, technically, except for this one. This one goes away for a second. I'd be doing all by myself. Okay. If we look at this array, the one piece of information that's repeated a lot is this part right here, right? The fact that we're adding shark onto the end of it. A burn with a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Yay. Okay, so we have shark right there. And this is repeated. So how can we remove that duplication? We can create a new array that has that basically has all of these words with shark on the end of them. And for that, we're going to use map. So I'll say .map, and that's going to give us each word. And then I want to take that word and put the word shark on the end of it, like that. And we can use a template literal for this. Like that. Okay. Template literal. So, and actually now I'm showing arrow functions, higher order functions, arrow functions. There are a lot of different ways to write functions. As you can see here, we're writing a function with the function keyword. This is a shorthand for writing a function that returns a value. I'll say there's a lot going. We've basically gone from 0 to 1,000 in about I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour. If you were just getting started in programming, there's no way you should, or there's no way you even should be writing programs this way, because there's a lot of underlying knowledge here, and that's totally fine. But we now have this array of family members. We're going to map it, which creates a new array where every word has, or every family member, let's call it member, where every family member has the word shark on the end of it. And so if we just log this out. Hello, Shova. Welcome to the show. Rewards. What's on rewards? Posture check. Well, thank you. Thank you, Pinton there. Yeah, and if we put this in a variable called family members, members, and then we log those members, we're going to see that we actually get an array with every family member a name that has the word shark on the end of it, right? Mastermind, what's up, dude? Who knew that the Baby Shark song would provide one of the greatest algorithmic problems of our lifetimes? Who knew? Who knew? But check out Mastermind. He has a great Twitch channel. He's a member of our Live Coders team. Cool dude. Thanks for being here. PHP is 25 years old today. Well, that's good. Shark will hunt you, dude. And thank you, Sneeze, for that follow. Yeah, okay. So that map function is super slick. It takes an array and creates a new array with some transformation on all the elements in the array. So we've basically taken this array of family members and mapped it so that it has the word shark on the end of each one. So that's great. But now I need to combine that with let's go hunt and for each. So I need to do this. So this right here creates all the family members with the name shark on them. But what I need is all of that and let's go hunt. So I'm going to actually introduce the spread operator. So the spread operator allows us to take an array and put it into another array. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have an array that has this array inside of it. But I want to take the values of this array and spread it into this array, the outer array. And then I want to take this value, let's go hunt, and put it at the end of the array. Like that. So now this, if we put this in a, let's call it prefixes. If we put this in a variable called prefixes, we now get an array that has all the family members and let's go hunt. So let's look at it. Should be good. Yeah. Let's go hunt. And this syntax here, ... basically says, I want you to spread the result of this expression. The result of this expression is an array that has baby shark, mommy shark, daddy shark, grandma shark, grandpa shark. And it spreads that into this array. So now each of the values from that array now exist in the previous array, or the outer array, these brackets here. And then we just put let's go hunt on the end of it. So there's that. And now that I have them all in the same array, we can do for each. Yeah, whoa. So now we should get it. Baby shark do. Cool. So that's awesome, right? We take this array, we combine it with this on the end. It's a beautiful thing. Sing it. I'm not gonna. I'll sing the whole thing when we're done refactoring. Yeah, Avi says it's better to concat. We technically could do that. We could. I'll show both ways. I kind of like showing the spread operator just to show that it is a thing. But the other way to do this is to say that dot concat. Let's go hunt. Or I could just push it. This is much more functional, though. Here, I'll show you how we do this without this weird... wait, I didn't mean to take that out. Yeah, without this weird spread syntax. When I see JavaScript, I'm afraid. Well, Shova, I've mentioned I want to keep iterating this because I don't want to scare you away from JavaScript. If you can understand this code, that's all you need to understand. Because like I'm showing, there are 1,000,001 ways to solve this thing, and we can get infinitely complex. What we're probably about to do is make it more of a functional solution in that we're not doing anything that has side effects. We'll probably use a reduce, which will basically, we're going to reduce that array of family members into the actual lyrics of the song. Yeah, it's gonna get ridiculous. But if you can understand this solution, that's perfectly fine. You can build pretty much any website in the world with code that looks like this. What we're doing now is, I don't know, programmers get bored, so they do things in weirder ways. I think it's worth noting that the use of the spread operator is equivalent to merging the arrays, which is done with array concat. Yeah, I'll show it with concat. So basically, we have this map, which returns the members with their the word shark on the end of it, right? And then we're going to concat it. And by concat, we mean concatenate that on the end of it. So map it, and then concat it, and then for each of those items, call the do function, like that. And this should work in the same way. It does. Baby shark, mama shark, daddy shark, grandpa shark, let's go. So that's fine. The other way I showed it is weird, right? I mean, that technically looks a little bit easier to understand because it's, let's map it to put the word shark on it, let's concatenate that thing onto the end of it, and then call for each on it. Technically, like someone mentioned, is I could actually use push, so we could put this array into a variable, and then use push to put something on the end of the variable, and then use for each over that variable, for sure. Run away. Yeah. And Free Code Camp is a beautiful website for learning how to code. And it's, what I like about Free Code Camp is it's kind of like your roadmap. As someone that knows absolutely nothing about web development or coding, it's a really good, basically a description of all the things that you need to do and need to learn to become a web developer. Now, there are a ton of other great resources, but it's a good starting point for sure. You could write this in one line in Python. I believe it. Yeah, and there are arguments against whether or not we should use reduce because it's less readable. There's more overhead in understanding what that code actually does. But yeah, I'm learning so much rather than watching several tutorials. Well, thanks for being here. Yeah, I love spaghetti. By concat, we mean concat. Did I say that? By concat, we mean to put it onto the end. That's what we mean. Bob it, turn it, twist it, push it. The difference between push and concat. Well, with push, I would have had to put it in a variable first, whereas concat returns a new array with that item on the end of it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine. Before you even jump into JavaScript, stick with HTML and CSS. That's totally fine. Yeah. Concept of expressions and statements. I mean, I didn't get that technical in terms of like teaching programming. I'm just showing the general idea of refactoring. I think that's mainly what we're focusing on here. But I sort of did. Like the fact that I mentioned that we can use template literals that accept a variable. Well, it's a little white why, because you actually can have expressions. And an expression is anything that evaluates to a value. But yeah, we're not getting that low level. This isn't like complete intro to programming. This is intro to programming for people that are maybe interested in how programmers do things and how code can work, sort of. Okay, I like this solution because we're kind of doing it all in one. Do founder badges go higher than subs? They shouldn't. I think on Vox, all subs are treated equally. Okay, so there's that. Now, I think what I want to do is instead of console logging, we're actually going to return a string that at the end we console log the whole thing. So let's do this. And actually, instead of iterating in the loop here and logging here, okay, so what I'm about to do is I'm going to do a speed run. So for those of you who have been watching and have been slowly following along, I'm probably about to write code that you're not going to be able to follow. And that's just because we're kind of out of time. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to rewrite this so that it returns the string instead of returning a, what do you call it? Speedrun baby shark. So that it returns the string itself instead of actually logging it out to the console. Okay, so I think I'm actually we're gonna turn this into a reduce, and this part here, we are going to. That's gonna be the thing that we reduce it on. I mean, actually, what I could do is put it into an array and then join it on new lines while beatboxing. Actually, what's the best way? I mean, honestly, probably the easiest way to do this is if I do this. If I say prefix do, prefix do, prefix do. So that's 3 times repeated. And then on the end of that array, we have this. I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. Because now we have an array that has all the things I want inside of it, and then I can just join that together on a new line. And so that it puts each thing on a new line. And ultimately, I want to return that. So take in P. Oh, and repeat it with the new line. Yeah, there's probably another way to do it. Is basically repeat it with the new line rather than joining it. Okay, so that's one way. But the other way is to do what Doc just said. And welcome, Doc. I think that's the first chat I've seen from you today. Welcome to the show. Hello, hello, hello. If we take this with a new line on it, then we just have to repeat that. Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, now we have a template string that has this goodness inside of it. Repeated 6 times with the new line. So, I mean, technically, we want that repeated 3 times. So that thing repeated 3 times. And then all of that is inside of that, followed by the prefix itself with a new line. So there's that, like that. Okay, so this thing just returns that. Yeah, so if, like I said, you, I mentioned it. You were not going to be able to follow me anymore, and that's okay, because we're gonna get this as small. Like, I'm gonna write this in the way that you probably wouldn't write code like this on the job, but for those of you that are interested in the idea of just like programming itself and functional programming and making things smaller, that's there. But basically, what we're saying is this string here, the baby shark do. With the new line, we're going to repeat that 3 times. And then after that, we're going to put baby shark with an exclamation mark. Great. Yeah, so the do is right there. Great. And so now, instead of for each, what I probably want is, for now, I'm actually just going to use a map. Did I forget to close the curly bracket somewhere? Oh, yes, I did. Garbage code that nobody can understand first. What is this curly brace line up with? Nope. Nope. All right, let's fix. Okay, so this part here. Am I missing a curly brace? No. Because that's valid syntax, right? Yeah, shortest mode. So that's fine. So that's an expression, and then I can put that expression inside of here. Does anybody see my syntax error? We're going to see if I have a syntax error. The inner template string is not good. Remove the comments. All right, so we have prefix, comma, this part here. End of line 6, the back tick. Because I have backticks here and here. You can have backticks inside of backticks, right? Right? Oh! No, that should work. It's actually valid. I mean, if I nest the backticks inside of template literals can't have posture check. Use one variable. Here's the thing. Let's just do this for now. We're gonna call this phrase. And if I put phrase here, that should be fine. We're gonna fix that in a second. I see you all typing the code. We're going to fix that in a second. I don't know. I can't just keep staring at that. All right. But what we need to do now is for every item, instead of for eaching it, we're going to map it. So we're going to say map. And that will return a new array with all of the lyrics inside of it. So if we put this in a variable, and then we log this, we're going to get an array. Yeah, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do. So it's there, but what we need to do is actually instead of so we're gonna do a map. I think we're gonna do like a nested concat because we need to put runaway on the end of it all, and then we just join it all together. I mean, technically, we could do this. I think this is actually all we need. Join all of those arrays together into a single string, and then it should have the new lines inside of it. Yes. Samurai do 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 do, samurai do do do. The only issue here is that runaway is on a new line. So technically we could do all of the lyrics with runaway inside of it, like this. Dude, that's voodoo do do do. So we have lyrics, and then we're gonna put a new line there, followed by run away. Instead of concatenating, let's go hunt to the array. You can make each member an object with is shark value and check if that is a shark in the map. There's a lot of ways to do it. There definitely is. We'll put it through text to speech. I don't know if we're done yet. I need to figure out how many characters this is. Because technically the problem itself was, can you do this in 300 characters or less? Okay. And then I don't need the quotes here. Run away, do 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 do. Whoa. Oh, there should be no new line because there's already a new line. There we go. That's what we want. We should make sure there's no weird stuff here. Cool. Oh, no worries, 90. Thank you for the compliment. I realized we haven't hydrated in a while. And cool. Yeah, the comma is actually supposed to be there. That's from the problem description here, like that. If string.repeat is too many characters, you can rename it string.r. Are we trying to code golf it at this point? All right. Yeah, so you can't have backticks inside of a template string? I feel like you can. Like, I should actually be able to take this and put it right there. But this says it's invalid syntax. Let's see what happens. It still works. My editor just can't handle it. I was looking at it like crazy earlier. Like, let me make sure. Yeah, this file is saved. We're running version 6. Yeah, it still works. And basically, I'll show you really quick. This is the idea of an expression. So because this value right here is then stored, this is very ugly code. I will say this is not nice code. I'm not trying to say this is nice code. But this here is an expression. And an expression can be evaluated, meaning it can be reduced to a single value. So this here reduces into a single string, and then we're passing that string into this template function that we talked about. But like I mentioned, inside of the curly braces here can be any valid expression. So I don't have to put it in a variable. I can put it right there, and because that's a valid expression, that will actually still work. Great. And now that we're really, if you look at this, we're only calling the do function once. I could actually define this in line. So instead of defining it up here, I could do something like this, like that. And now that this is an arrow function, it can just be a single line return. And then this becomes this. So that's great. And this should still work. It still works. Southern twang. Bye, dude. See you later, Larry. Thanks for being here. Or are you leaving? Is that why you said that? And thank you, Z Markin, for that follow. Beautiful. Yeah. So now it's all there. But look, we can go even further than that. What I just showed you was that was an expression that we're then using inside of the template literal. So just like that, we don't need lyrics. We can take this entire expression and put it inside of the console log here. We can take that entire thing and put it right there. Oh, I killed. Oh yeah, bye, dude. New followers are offended that I'm removing. No, I'm acknowledging it is what I'm doing. Anytime I thank someone for a following, I remove the follow message. But now we're passing that whole thing into the console log, doing that, and it should still work. Yeah, it still works. That's great. Now, maybe I should write it this way. Just make it a little more readable. I mean, technically I can do this. This is not OOP. This is definitely a more functional style, because we don't have any global variables. All of our functions are like maps. Yeah, I'm so beyond lost right now. Yeah, I understand. There are a lot of people watching though. People that are like total beginners. People that But basically, it's just fun to write. Once you get really good at coding, it's fun to write code this way. In the real world, we never write code this way because it's hard to understand. Even other programmers who have been programming for a long time would find this hard to understand. And so let me see if there's anything else that I want to change. I mean, honestly, I think I might make this a concat. All right, if we do this concat, then this goes here and this goes here. But it's fun. Unexpected token, period. Oh, there should be no comma there. Yeah, thank you, Laser. And so I'm gonna finish. So here's my. I'm gonna make this as small as possible. It's gonna be barely readable at all. But there's this thing in programming called code golf, where basically you try to make things as in the get things working in the least number of characters. Yeah. This code is to look smart and be hated by other coders. Right. Remove the first template string. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. It's possible. I think what I'm going to do here is just put these on new line so that they're actually like readable or readable. I don't know. In the end, is this the cleanest code? No. And I'll tell you why. So let's readable. Is it readable? I could technically make these variable names like one character, Instead of like joining on a string, I probably could use a reduce instead. Readable. Hello, Flaxamon. Welcome. Readable. Do I want to? I think I'm done. We've done way too much refactoring. So let's reflect. Let's reflect on all of the versions that we've written. Let's also talk about, and this is going to be an open conversation because other programmers can mention as well. You can use more readable variable names like that. Able. Actually, yeah. Let's see what my final character count is. I'm going to do this. We're going to go into node. We're going to put my function inside of a string. Wait. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Reflect while beatboxing. Let's just put it in here and see if it passes. Word count. I guess I could do word count. Oh, is there a word count in VS Code? Oh, Linux. Okay. Cat version 6. And pass that through word count. Dash L. 3. Do I want dash L? Is it 227 characters, total characters? Yeah, 227. Cool. And here's the thing. I don't know how this is a 7Q because this one actually says that it should be less than 300 characters. And if just this is 227, reference error, Baby Shark lyrics. Oh, I need to put this in a function called Baby Shark lyrics. And this needs to return that. All right, I mean, I didn't mention it earlier, but basically this is a coding challenge website where you have to do what we were just doing. But we used it as an example to do other things. Cool. All right, regardless. So that passed there, that's fine. But let's reflect. Let's talk about what's the best version. What would we actually write in the real world as programmers? Why is this bad? All that good stuff. So version 1. It's literally just all the lyrics inside of a string. Hey, there were 3 tests. Yeah, so it tests, does it actually output the lyrics? Is it less than the maximum size? I don't know why it tests, oh, file size. Oh, it needs to be smaller than a certain number of bytes too? Oh, weird. I don't have the time. I have to go to work soon, Informath. But let's reflect. Before we do that, thank you, friends, for the follows. Thank you, and also thank you, Bubblegum. Thanks for being here. Version 1. Grandpa and Grandpa is a repeating grand. That's true. We could fix that too. But this is all the lyrics in a single variable and then logged out. Honestly, like, why not? This is a very defined problem. This is a single song. We know exactly what the lyrics are. This is a song for the ages. The lyrics never change. So why do we have to write all this code that makes it like more repeatable and more refactorable? So this is version 1, and this is totally fine. But the reason where this breaks down is in the future you get a feature request that says, hey, we want to add a new family member to the song. How do we do that? Or hey, instead of repeating 3 times, we want that part there to actually repeat 5 times. So then we have to go in and manually update everything. But if you wrote it with loops, so if we look at version 2, that becomes a little bit easier. So if they say, oh hey, we want to repeat that 5 times instead, it's easy enough to just go through and replace all of the areas where I'm repeating 3 times and change that to be some other number. Easy enough. But this is version 2. Instead of putting all of the lyrics, we actually use the for loops, or you can use any kind of loops that you want. And also, that's another thing. If you've ever heard the term hard coding, this is hard coding. We've hard coded the stuff here so that it's not necessarily maintainable or improve. We can't really improve upon it in the future. Or it's harder to change in the future. Yeah, and another term for that is hard coding, magic values, all that good stuff. And this is technically a bad practice. Yes. All right. Version 2. This is a little bit better because we're no longer repeating that string multiple times. We only have that string once. And then we're using loops to repeat it for us. But where this breaks down is at a more meta level, the code itself is duplicated. Instead of the text being duplicated, now the code is more duplicated. And this is totally fine. Like if you're new to programming and you don't know about functions yet, it's totally fine to write your code this way. But once you learn about functions, it's going to make your code a lot cleaner. And that's what we call nice code, is clean code. Code that other people can understand, other people can add code to, and it's easy for them to add code to. So if we look at version 3, this is where we introduce functions. So now instead of repeating that part where we have the variable itself, we repeat it. We've extracted that part out into a reusable function, and a function allows you to define some statements that can be run again and again just by using the name of that function. So we call the function with baby shark. We call the function with mommy shark. We call the function with daddy shark. And yes, now that we've extracted it to a function, that business requirement that says, hey, we now need to repeat the lyrics 5 times instead of 3, we can now take in another parameter. If we took in quantity, and let's say that quantity defaults to 3, but we could change it in other places. But now if we go up to quantity, now it's really, really easy to update this code. Your client says, hey, we need 5 repeats instead of 3. You change that to 5, done. You take a break for the rest of the day. You didn't have to spend hours updating your code. So that's why writing code this way is a little bit nicer. Awesome. Now, like I mentioned, if you're new to programming, this is a perfect place to stop. Like using functions, calling those functions, beautiful. Where do we go from there? Now things start to get just, honestly, at this point, this one's actually okay. Yeah, so, and this is sort of like functional programming. The main issue is we're doing console log, which is a side effect. So technically, this is not a pure function, but yeah. Change one number, took a break, 5 hours charged, customer thanked me. Exactly. Like, this is real world stuff, right? If you write your code this way to begin with, when they ask for new features, it's going to be really easy to add and improve on those features. We got some follows. Thank you, Be Strafe, for that follow. Thank you, Dev, for that follow as well. Cool. All right. Moving on to version 4, this is where we start to use arrays. So instead of having to invoke that function manually 6 different times, we put things in an array. And a list or an array is a way of keeping track of multiple items, right? So we know these are all the things we need. We need baby sharks, mommy sharks, daddy shark, grandma sharks, grandpa sharks, and let's go hunt. And so we put these into this array or this list, and then we can iterate over that list. So just like we could iterate from 0 to 3, we can iterate over all of the prefixes or iterate over the length of that array and invoke the function with that given prefix. Now, I would say this is probably like more intermediate code because it's a little bit tricky to see that, oh, we're calling this function multiple times, so let's figure out how we can, instead of calling it multiple times, invert that. Is a little bit more advanced. It still uses that same do function. Yeah, and Andy is right. Instead of this right here, I didn't mention is an escape character. We could have used double quotes, but it's fine. It's fine. Version 7, make the source code only 1 character per line. And what's up, Happy Jojo? Welcome to the show. We're just wrapping up. We're kind of talking about what we did here. And we also showed that there are multiple ways to write for loops. I would say if you're brand new to for loops, you should probably learn this way. And the reason I mentioned that you should learn this way is in other programming languages, they work exactly the same. Like if you were, so right now we're writing in JavaScript, but if you decided to start writing C++ or C or C# or Java, your for loop is going to look exactly the same. Whereas other languages may not have a for in loop or a for of loop. And so if you get used to writing it this way, you might actually forget how for loops even work. So as a beginner, I would stick with the regular for loop, but do let it be known that there are other loops that make it a bit easier to iterate over things. Cool. So that was version 4. Yeah, and C# does have like the language integrated query link where you can do things like I'm about to show, like the higher order methods. And I always mix up for in and for of as well. All right, version 5 is it's this same code, but now we're introducing string functions. So instead of doing concatenation, we're doing template literals, which are these backticks, and we're using like this built-in repeat function. But I will say, the code is getting smaller, but it's getting more terse. And the thing to look out for here is if another programmer comes along to read your code, are they going to be able to understand it at first glance? And with version 4, I can say probably. It's probably really easy for another programmer to come along and say, oh, that takes the prefix and then adds do on the end of it. We repeat that 3 times, and then we do the prefix with an exclamation mark. Makes sense. And it's really easy for a new programmer, or for any programmer, to just look at the code, and if they've been doing it for a while, they can kind of like almost immediately understand what that code does. Whereas, if a programmer looks at this code, it takes a higher, like, there's a higher cognitive load. There's more things that my brain has to do to unpack what is happening on these lines of code. And before I continue, Code Show, what's up? Shout out to Code Show. He's a member of our Live Coders team. Click that link, drop a follow. Thanks for being here. Yes, and so as a programmer that is seeing this code for the first time, you just say, okay, so we have backticks, all right, that's going to put the prefix there, all right, and then that's going to do, and then repeat is a built-in function that's going to repeat that string, and then that's going to be evaluated and put into the string outside of it. Okay, I have it. That's going to say baby shark, do. Awesome. For loop is the same, that's the same. So when you write code like this, it requires a higher cognitive load. It requires programmers to think a little bit more to understand what's happening on that line of code. And this is where we start to differ in opinion. Like, there are some teams of programmers that say you have to write your code this way, and everyone on the team has a shared understanding of using template literals and using string functions. Basically, they make sure that everyone on the team writes code that way. Whereas other teams might say, this is way too terse. I actually prefer it that you would write it this way so that it's easier to understand at a glance. All right, so that's great. String functions, template literals. The next version is using higher order functions. Now, this sort of gets into functional programming territory. We're still doing console logs. But when we get here, wait, did we seriously jump from that to that? Okay, I guess we did. So this is... we're using nothing but higher order methods like map, concat, and join. Well, join isn't a higher order method, but basically, we're using all of these underlying things built into JavaScript to kind of write it all on one line of code. And this requires a huge cognitive load. I should have made a version 7 for sure. I kind of just smushed it all into one. It is quite a jump. Yeah. We should have gone... I somehow missed the map. Yeah. But as a programmer that comes along, you really, really have to break this down to try and understand what's happening. So, okay, we have an array. We're mapping over it and putting the word shark on the end of each one. Okay. Now we're putting let's go hunt on the end of that array. Now we're repeating over each one, and then there's this weird template. I have to figure out what it does. So, yeah. If you do exclamation mark break, you can get a link to my break timer. All right, I think that's it. I'm done talking about all this stuff. I appreciate everyone being there with me along our journey of refactoring Baby Shark do. And the last thing we'll do is we'll actually make my terminal say Baby Shark do. We're gonna bring the volume down a little bit. This code says, please blame it on this because I'm smart and you need to know it. Yeah. And some programmers... So here's the thing. If you're new to the programming world, I will warn you right now, you're potentially going to come across people that say, we should only ever write code like this. If you can't understand this, you shouldn't be a programmer. Those people... just ignore those people. You can write code like this and it's perfectly fine. It works, it gets the job done, it's easy to understand, and that's okay. Thank you, Bluefish, for that follow. I think we got another follow too, huh? Mob, thank you for that follow. Yeah. We're gonna do it. No, we're gonna do it. If only it worked that way. Nice, Moose on the Loose. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'm glad that at least someone stuck around. I didn't scare anybody away. That's good.
Baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Do 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 baby shark. Mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Do 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 mommy shark. Daddy shark. Do 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 daddy shark. Do 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 daddy shark. Do 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 daddy shark. Grandma shark. Do 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 grandma shark. Do 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 grandma shark. Do 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 grandma shark. Grandpa shark. Do 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 grandpa shark. Do 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 grandpa shark. Do 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 grandpa shark. Let's go hunt. Do 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 let's go hunt. Do 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 let's go hunt. Do 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 let's go hunt. Run away.
Yeah, so Revived Newt has a question. Isn't the final version harder to debug if there is found to be an issue because of how unreadable it becomes? Absolutely, and that's actually another good point on why this is probably this is probably where we should stop, if not version 4, because if there is a bug, it's a bit easier to debug, which is to try to analyze the code to figure out where it went wrong. Whereas if I'm trying to debug this version, it's really, really hard. We have all these nested backticks and nested dollar signs. Yes, it becomes much harder to debug once you get code that's small. No, it is. It's gonna give you up. Okay. More suited to the techno remix. I really will run away. All right, we'll see you last time. Thanks for being here. Does version 3 meet the size requirements? I'm curious. Let's see if it does. Oh, I think the issue is that I'm console logging instead of returning. So I can't necessarily check. But I will say ignore those requirements because it makes the code really unreadable. You're supposed to use map. Yeah, okay. Choose another voice. Oh, sure. I mean, no, that's enough. Remove the first template string with more concats. Yes. Well, technically, that whole thing is joined, because that whole thing is an array that gets joined together. So we could actually... Yeah, we could do this. All right, I like that. It removes a little bit of the weird syntax. Because then we say this dot concat runaway. Oh, actually, I don't need a backticks. Runaway with a new line. I don't need a new line. No, it's fine. That should work.
Baby shark.
Yeah, it still works. Thank you, Mob, for that suggestion. That cleans it up a little bit. We don't have that weird thing wrapped in a backtick. And then we can technically like write this like that. Yeah, you're right. All right, thank you, Samil, for that follow. If you check your past solution code words, the nested template literals break the syntax highlighting. Yeah, I believe it. I spent 2.5Ks on this. Now listen. What is it? It's a trap! What's the difference between console log and return? So, console log just outputs it to the console like I was showing. Return, and I guess I got rid of it. I shouldn't have got rid of it. But basically, if you have a function and it returns something, whatever is returned from that function can be put and used. So it can be put into a variable or used outside of the function. Right now, we're kind of, with the console logs, we're just losing them. They get output to the console, and we can't really access them here when we invoke the function. So return allows you to take something that was in the function, return it, send it out, so that whoever called the function, you could say like, something like this. So like lyric equals doo-doo, and then I could do something with lyric outside of it. But right now, because I'm not returning, I can't do that. Lyric technically would be undefined. It has no value. So that's the main difference. Return allows you to use that value outside the function. Yeah. Nice. Why not put the... Oh, we could... I'm done. But yes, you're absolutely right. Like, technically, we could have, instead of joining on an empty string, instead of putting the new lines here or there, we could have joined on a new line. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes. Lyric equals doo-doo. All right. All right, I have to go. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I appreciate you all. Thanks for sticking with me. We got a few